If you travel along the Kenyan coast north of Malindi, you'll eventually find the sleepy, beautiful village of Mambrui. It's a place of stunning contrasts, golden sand dunes, turquoise waters of the Indian Ocean. And here, a story has taken hold, whispered by visitors, whispered by locals. They point to a large skeletal building half buried in the shifting sands and tell you it was swallowed by the beach. The tale suggests that nature itself rose up and consumed the structure, a dramatic and almost biblical event. It's a powerful image, one that captures the imagination and speaks to the untamable force of the coastline. The myth is incredibly compelling because, at first glance, it seems entirely plausible. The sheer volume of sand piled up against the walls, spilling through empty window frames, filling entire rooms. You can see how someone could arrive, witness this incredible sight, and conclude that the ocean had simply decided to reclaim its territory. Stories circulate of a hotel that was built too close to the sea, defying nature, and paid the ultimate price. This narrative of a building defeated by the elements is far more exciting than the mundane truth, and like all good legends, it has spread far and wide. This story transforms the building from a simple abandoned property into a monument of ecological revenge. It almost serves as a cautionary tale for developers along the coast, a warning not to underestimate the power of the wind and waves. When you stand there, with the wind whipping sand against your face and the roar of the ocean in your ears, it's easy to get swept up in the romance of the legend. The building looks like a shipwreck on land, a ghost of ambition lost to the relentless march of the dunes. It's the kind of story that makes for a great travel anecdote, something to share with friends back home about the mysterious and powerful African coast. But as with many such legends, the story of the swallowed hotel is more fiction than fact. While the sand is undeniably a powerful force here, it wasn't the primary reason for this building's demise. The truth is often less dramatic but far more interesting, revealing a different kind of struggle altogether. The sand didn't attack the building, rather, it simply moved into a space that had been left empty and unprotected. To understand what really happened, we have to look beyond the mesmerizing dunes and dig into a story of human conflict, not a battle with nature. The real narrative is buried just as deep as the building's ground floor. The reality behind the abandoned building is a tale familiar across the world: legal disputes. The structure wasn't a hotel that was suddenly overwhelmed by a freak wave of sand. It was an ambitious construction project that ground to a halt due to protracted and complicated court cases, ownership battles. Financial disagreements dragged on for years, leaving the unfinished building in a state of suspended animation. As the lawyers argued, the paperwork piled up, the site was left completely unattended. No one was there to manage the property, maintain the grounds, or protect it from the creeping sands. This abandonment was the critical factor. Nature, especially in a dynamic coastal environment like Mambrui, abhors a vacuum. The persistent winds blowing in from the ocean carry vast quantities of fine sand, and without any intervention, this sand begins to accumulate against any obstacle it meets. Over months and then years, small drifts grew into massive dunes. The building, once intended to be a symbol of luxury and progress, became an unintentional sand trap. It wasn't being attacked, it was simply in the path of a natural process that was allowed to run wild without any human management to keep it in check. Imagine leaving your garden untended for a decade. Weeds would grow, vines would crawl over the walls, and it would slowly be reclaimed by the wild. The situation in Mambrui is the coastal equivalent, but on a much grander and faster scale. Sand dunes are not static, they are rivers of sand, constantly moving and reshaping the landscape. The legal paralysis meant that the simplest protective measures were never put in place. The project was frozen in time, and the ever-moving environment simply flowed around and into it, creating the dramatic scene we see today. So the image of a building swallowed by the earth is a powerful metaphor, but it's not the literal truth. The sand is a consequence of neglect, not the cause of it. The real story is one of human affairs, of legal wrangling and abandoned dreams. Had the project been completed or even just minimally maintained, it would almost certainly look very different today. The sand is a formidable force, yes, but it is a manageable one. The proof of this can be found just a short walk down the very same beach, where other establishments thrive by working with nature, not ignoring it. Just a stone's throw from the so-called Sunken Hotel, you can find other properties that stand perfectly safe and clear of the encroaching dunes. One prime example is a nearby hotel that has stood for years, facing the same winds and the same ocean. The secret to its survival isn't magic or luck, It's a simple, elegant solution rooted in local knowledge. This hotel is protected by a dense buffer of trees, Casuarina equisetifolia mvinje whistling pine. These hardy, salt-tolerant trees act as a natural wall, breaking the wind and trapping the sand before it can reach the buildings. For generations, coastal communities have understood the power of these natural barriers. Local elders in Mambrui had advised the developers of the ill-fated project to do exactly this: plant a protective forest of whistling pines, deep roots, feathery branches. As the wind slows down, it loses the energy required to carry sand particles, which then drop and accumulate harmlessly among the trees. The result is a fortified coastline where the dunes are held at bay, allowing homes and businesses to exist in harmony with the beach. This local wisdom extends beyond just planting trees. People here have developed numerous techniques to manage the sand. Woven coconut palm fronds, makuti. These fences act as smaller, targeted barriers that can be moved and adjusted as needed to control sand drifts around specific buildings or pathways. It's a low-cost, sustainable, and incredibly effective strategy. It demonstrates a deep understanding of the local environment, a knowledge built up over centuries of living by the sea. This isn't a battle against nature, it's a dance with it. The contrast between the thriving hotel and the abandoned sand-filled building couldn't be starker. It's a living lesson in the importance of listening to local advice and investing in sustainable solutions. The successful hotel proves that building and living in Mambrui is entirely possible, as long as you respect the environment and take the necessary precautions. The whistling pines are more than just trees. They are a symbol of foresight and a testament to the fact that the best solutions are often the ones that have been here all along, waiting in the wisdom of the community. The story of Mambrui's Sunken Hotel is a perfect example of how easily a myth can overshadow the truth. The sensational tale of a building swallowed by sand is exciting, but it paints a false picture of Mambrui as a place hostile to human settlement. The reality is that this is a place of immense beauty and opportunity, where the challenges of the environment can be managed with knowledge and care. The moving sand dunes are not a curse, they are a natural wonder. Climbing them at sunset is an unforgettable experience, with the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean before you. They are part of what makes this coastline so unique and breathtaking. So my encouragement to anyone visiting this part of the world is to come and see Mambrui for yourself. Walk along the golden beach, feel the power of the wind, marvel at the incredible sand dunes, look at the abandoned building and appreciate the dramatic scene it presents. But then, look for the full story. Talk to the local people. See the hotels flourishing behind shields of whistling pines. Understand the difference between neglect and nature's aggression. Sharing the true story is more powerful than repeating a myth, as it replaces fear with respect and sensationalism with genuine appreciation. Spreading the correct narrative matters. It helps preserve the reputation of a community that has long known how to live in harmony with its surroundings. It shows that problems often have practical, human-sized solutions. When we choose to share stories based on facts, we empower ourselves and others to see the world more clearly. The real magic of Mambrui isn't in a spooky story about a sunken hotel. It's in the resilience of its people, the wisdom of their traditions, the raw, unspoiled beauty of a landscape shaped by wind and sea. Ultimately, Mambrui invites us to be better travelers. Be curious, ask questions, look beyond the obvious. It's a place that reminds us that the most rewarding journeys are those that lead to understanding. So, come and enjoy the dunes. Take your pictures. Leave with a story of legal battles, community wisdom, the enduring power of a simple tree. Respect the local knowledge, celebrate the truth. You will discover the real and far more beautiful soul of Mambrui. It's a journey well worth taking.